Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a topic that, honestly, usually sounds way more intimidating than it actually is. Essential guidelines for bloodborne pathogen safety. Now, I know exactly what you're probably thinking. Bloodborne pathogens? Yikes! That sounds like heavy, complicated medical jargon meant for an intensive care unit, right? Not really something you want to think about on a standard Tuesday morning. But we're here to completely flip that script today. We're going to take this absolutely critical workplace subject and frame it as something totally manageable, highly practical, and honestly super empowering for you and your whole team. We'll be breaking down the specific risks, stuff like hepatitis and HIV, and mapping out the exact daily habits you need to basically neutralize them. You literally don't need to be a doctor to master this. You just need a clear, simple framework. Okay, let's dive into this. Can workplace safety, especially when we're talking about something as incredibly serious as bloodborne pathogens, truly be made simple? I mean, it's a super fair question. So often, workplace training just feels like this massive avalanche of terrifying statistics, worst-case scenarios, and jargon that goes right over our heads. But what if the absolute best way to stay safe isn't through all that complexity, but through brutal, straightforward simplicity? What if stripping away all the noise is actually the master key to effective safety that you'll actually remember?
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First up, understanding bloodborne pathogens. Second, essential safety guidelines. Third, emergency exposure procedures. And finally, a safer workplace for all. It's a clear path, so let's jump right in.
Section 1. Understanding bloodborne pathogens, the invisible risk.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the core message. Bloodborne pathogens made simple. The golden rule of our entire explainer today is that you absolutely do not need a medical degree to understand how to protect yourself on the job. You just need to know what you're actually dealing with. So what are they? Well, bloodborne pathogens are simply pathogenic microorganisms present in human blood that can cause disease in humans. When we talk about these invisible risks, we're basically zeroing in on the big three. First, there's hepatitis B, or HBV. Then, hepatitis C, or HCV, and both of those primarily affect the liver. Finally, there's the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, which targets the immune system. Now, how do these actually spread? They're typically transmitted through very specific pathways, things like accidental needle sticks, mucous membrane exposure, or contact with broken skin. And here's the good news. If you grasp basic hygiene, standard precautions, and just general situational awareness, you've already got the tools you need to handle this and push all that overwhelm right out the window.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, Essential Safety Guidelines, the shield of prevention. So, the crucial point is, why is it so incredibly important to focus strictly on the essentials? Well, because when you're busy executing your daily tasks, the very last thing you need is cognitive overload. You don't want to be overthinking it. The absolute bedrock of prevention here is what we call universal precautions. And that simply means you treat all human blood and certain other bodily fluids as if they are known to be infectious for HIV, HBV, and other pathogens. No guessing, no assuming, no rolling the dice. Just universal blanket protection. This principle is your first line of defense, and it's backed up by proper PPE, or personal protective equipment. We're talking about the basics, wearing gloves when you're handling potentially contaminated items, and throwing on masks or eye protection if there's any risk at all of a splash. Pair that with rigorous, thorough hand washing with good old soap and water literally the second you take those gloves off, and of course, making sure you're carefully disposing of sharps in their proper designated containers. By narrowing our focus strictly to these essential guidelines, daily prevention goes from being this huge chore to being totally practical, memorable, and just easy to execute. Keep it essential, keep it effective.
Which brings us to Section 3, Emergency Exposure Procedures, the clear response.
Let's be real. In a high-stress emergency, say a workplace injury happens and there's a potential pathogen exposure, panic is your absolute worst enemy. Having a fundamentally simple response plan is exactly what cuts right through that panic. When things go sideways, the immediate response comes down to 4 vital steps. Step 1. Wash any needle sticks and cuts with soap and water immediately. Like, do not hesitate, just do it. Step 2. Flush any splashes to the nose, mouth, or skin with copious amounts of water. Just flood the area. Step 3. If there's an exposure to the eyes, you need to irrigate them continuously with clean water, saline, or sterile irrigants. And Step 4. Immediately report the incident to a supervisor and seek prompt medical evaluation. When the adrenaline is pumping, a highly complex flowchart is totally going to fail you. But these 4 simple, step-by-step actions, They ensure clear, immediate, and most importantly, safe execution every single time. Finally, we've arrived at Section 4, a safer workplace for all, the daily takeaway.
And this brilliantly illustrates our main thesis. Simplifying these essential guidelines isn't just some neat little training trick or a sneaky way to save a few minutes. It is literally the ultimate, most powerful tool we have for protecting the entire workplace. By grounding our mindset in concrete actions, consistently applying universal precautions, diligently using the right PPE, and knowing exactly what immediate reporting steps to take in an emergency, we take what seems like a terrifying topic and transform it into just a manageable daily routine. It's pretty amazing, actually. When safety is simple, everyone participates. When everyone consistently applies these few vital rules, your entire workplace ecosystem turns into a fortress against infection. Think about it. Complexity creates vulnerability, but simplicity creates a true, impenetrable shield of safety for you and your coworkers.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final, provocative question to chew on. Are your workplace safety guidelines truly essential and simple? Really take a hard, honest look at the daily habits and protocols in your own environment today. Are you and your team actually relying on universal precautions, or are you maybe taking a few unnecessary risks here and there? Are your procedures empowering everyone to act confidently, or are they just causing cognitive overload and hesitation when it counts the most? I want to challenge you to champion the cause of simplicity in your workspace, because as we've seen today, that is exactly how real safety is achieved. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this topic. Stay safe out there.